Hello, welcome to my video. This is the finale of How to Love, so if you haven't watched any of the 3 first parts and are interested, you definitely should. This part does contain themes surrounding abusive relationships, portrayal and talk of mental instability, and mentions of alcohol. Also, a friendly warning, this video does contain cursing. As always, I hope you enjoy. Now on to the video.
In which feelings finally led to something more. Let me just. Atsumu quickly pushed himself off of sakusa, both of them scrambling to their feet to face Osamu and Suna. The 4 of them just stared at each other in an uncomfortably thick silence. After a few moments, Osamu cleared his throat. You're home early. Yeah. I'm doing better. Is this part of your reason for coming home early? Osamu gestured at Sakusa with a raised eyebrow. That was not what it looked like. Tell me what it was then. I fell on him. Accidentally. He's just a friend. Osamu narrowed his eyes. Right. Oh my fuck, Samu. This is Saken. Atsumu turned to Sakusa. Saken. This is, my brother. Samu. You probably assumed that already though, right? I already told you about him, and I said that we're twins, and we look exactly alike, except for our hair I guess. You're rambling. Suna snickered beside Osamu as Atsumu shut his mouth. Saken, eh? So, you must be Sakusa. Nice to meet you. Yeah, likewise. Miya talks about me. Atsumu looked at his brother with pleading eyes, using his irises to beg Osamu to not say anything particularly embarrassing. Hair. Well, I mean, why no? Suna let out a fake cough and looked at Osamu expectantly. Not gonna let me introduce myself. Osamu's eyes widened as Suna turned back to Atsumu and Sakusa. Wait. I'm Suna. Sakusa gave Suna a nod while Atsumu's jaw dropped. Suna stretched a hand out to Atsumu, who only stared down at it in disbelief. Your brother over here talks a whole lot about you. Nice to finally meet you. You. Atsumu's eyes flit up to look at Suna's face. You're Suna? Osamu went stiff at Suna's side. The one and only. I'm guessing Osamu talks about me, too? Oh, he does. I hope it's only the best things. Oh, he tells me all the things. The knowing look that Atsumu was giving made Suna, too, go rigid. Suna dropped his hand and turned his head away, but not before Atsumu saw the color draining from his face. Oh. Sakusa looked at the 3 of them in confusion as a silence overcame them once more. This time, it was broken by Sakusa clearing his throat. Miya, your towel. Gah. Atsumu pulled up the towel that had begun to slip and re-wrapped it about his midriff. I'm just gonna go get dressed. Atsumu began to walk away before Osamu called out to him. Hold up. Atsumu stopped in his tracks and looked over his shoulder. Oh, we bought stuff to make 𝘵𝘮. Do you want some? You too, Sakusa-san. I have no clue what that is, but make me some anyhow. What about you, Saken? It's been a while since I've had 𝘵𝘮. That would be nice. Alright. Rin, Suna. Can we go back to your place to cook? I don't want to intrude on these 2 hanging out. Sure. R.I.P. my apartment, though. Actually. Would it be alright if we all had dinner here together? Silence ensued again, though this time due to shock rather than discomfort. What? Really? Well, I mean. Sakusa glanced over at Atsumu. If everyone is alright with that. It'd be nice to get to know your brother, Miya. Suna coughed, making everyone turn to look at him. I don't think everyone would be. Suna looked at Atsumu briefly before shifting his gaze to Osamu. Comfortable with that? Atsumu? Atsumu shifted on his feet as the other 3 looked at him. He looked between his brother and Suna before his eyes rested on Sakusa. Atsumu closed his eyes and let out a slow sigh. Why know what? Yeah, sure. Dinner sounds fine. Suna blinked his eyes in surprise. Oh. Well, in that case. Eating alone on my couch every night is getting depressing. I'll join. Sweet, Osamu. Well, everyone else is in. Why not? Osamu clasped his hands together. Alright then. This'll be nice. All done. Osamu strode into the dining area, holding a pile of plates in one hand and a dish of 𝘵𝘮 in the other. He wasn't exactly sure what he'd expected to see when he got to the dining table. Perhaps he was just being really hopeful that his brother and their 2 dinner guests would be engaging in some form of conversation. When he got to the dinner table, though, he found the 3 of them sitting in silence. Atsumu and Suna were tapping away at their phones while Sakusa sat with his eyes closed and arms crossed. Only the sound of the ongoing rain outside and the low sizzle of the rice permeated the room of otherwise quietude. Ahem. Suna and Atsumu looked up from their phones while Sakusa opened one eye. Dinner is ready. Shit, that smells good. Suna quickly stuffed his phone into his pocket and rubbed his hands together. I'm starving. Osamu glared at Suna as he set down the pile of plates and the dish of 𝘵𝘮. Would've been nice if I had some help. What? I did help, a lot even. Ungrateful ass. Weren't you in the kitchen for a grand total of 20 minutes before you said, I'm out? Oh, I didn't know we had a timekeeper here. Sakusa shrugged and stood up from his seat, picking up the pile of plates to properly set them on the table. Just saying. On the bright side, you staying out of the kitchen lessen the chances of a fire. Whatever. Osamu chuckled and nudged Suna's side. Don't be bitter, you said it yourself. I'm not bitter. Sakusa muttered under his breath. Seems like it. I heard that, Mr. Masked Man. Osamu snorted while Sakusa's face scrunched up in distaste, the front of his mask creasing. Excuse me, Masked Man? Osamu let out the laugh he had been trying to stifle. Sorry Sakusa-san, your face. Suna smiled at Sakusa's grimace. Bitter? Sakusa rolled his eyes. Hardy ha ha. Anyway. Where are the drinking glasses? Ah damn, I forgot to get them. Hey, Atsumu. Atsumu raised his head looking down at his phone. Can you get 4 glasses? Oh sure, I'll fill them up too. What do you guys want? Just water with ice is fine. If your brother still has some monsters in his stash, that would be fantastic. Rin. Suna. Fine. I'll also have a water with ice please. Can you get me a Dr. Pepper? Actually, I'll come with you to help carry the glasses. Atsumu nodded before standing up to walk to the kitchen, Osamu right behind him. Once they got to the kitchen, Atsumu headed over to the cabinet to grab glass cups while Osamu got a Dr. Pepper from the pantry. You know 𝘧𝘪𝘮𝘪 just used a tray for the drinks, right? Osamu set his Dr. Pepper down and leaned back against the counter. I wanted to talk to you. Ah. Atsumu looked back at his brother as he set down the glasses. About? Well, firstly. Are we cool? Atsumu sighed and ran a hand through his hair. I think so. I'm still upset, but not nearly as much as before. Like my brain is exhausted and at this point, it's harder to hold a grudge than to find a way to move past it. Osamu nodded slowly. Okay. So, if you don't mind me asking, how exactly are you? I don't know. I seriously don't know. I came home early because obviously I was doing alright. But then the guy who's been occupying my mind nearly all day every day for a week shows up at our doorstep. And then 10 minutes later, you show up with your entire fuck buddy. But, did something change? Because y'all came in looking like a damn married couple with your little grocery bags. Atsumu began to pace around the kitchen. And now we're all having a fucking dinner together. Splendid, absolutely splendid. Hey. Osamu walked over to Atsumu, stopping his pacing by placing his hands on Atsumu's shoulder. Did you feel pressured to agree to the dinner? If you're uncomfortable with this whole thing, I can call it off. Atsumu looked into his brother's eyes and took a deep breath, clenching his fists. No. I'm done with letting people decide what I do, it's just. I've got to learn how to stop running away from things. Osamu frowned and squeezed Atsumu's shoulder. Okay. But seriously, tell me if you want me to shut it down. I will. Osamu and Atsumu heard Suna's voice call out from the dining area. Yo, guys, you good? What's taking so long? Osamu raised his voice to call back out to him. Sorry, we're good, we're coming now. Osamu turned back to Atsumu with a small smile. Let's do what we came here to do. Atsumu returned the smile and nodded. Yeah. This looks so good. Atsumu was back at the dining table, seated next to Sakusa at one side while Osamu and Suna were at the other. Right. Atsumu turned from the dish of 𝘹𝘮𝘮 to Suna at the opposite end of the table. Your brother's a damn good cook. Hey. That he is. Agreed. Or, you guys. Don't start. Alright, let's eat. Osamu clasped his hands together and lowered his head with closed eyes, the others following his lead. Thank you for the meal. 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 After saying their thanks, Atsumu instantly grabbed at the serving spoon, only for his hand to be slapped by Osamu. What was that for? Osamu narrowed his eyes, grabbing Suna's plate as he picked up the spoon and began to scoop rice. We have guests. They need to get their serving first before you take half the food. I would not. Sakan, back me up eh? I can't, because you definitely would. HMPH. Ha. PFFT. He said, I care about the truth and nothing but the truth. Dedos. Atsumu grumbled incoherently as Osamu picked up his plate, having already filled Suna and Sakusa's. After serving rice to himself, Osamu set down the spoon and sat back in his seat. Alright, let's eat. Who? Finally. Osamu, Suna, and Atsumu picked up their chopsticks and began to eat while Sakusa took off his mask. Atsumu saw Suna glance over at Sakusa, his eyes widening. Osamu almost instantly grunted and frowned at Suna, indicating that Suna had kicked him under the table. Atsumu watched as Suna tilted his head towards Sakusa, who was taking a sip of water and unaware of it all. Osamu's eyes, too, widened. Sakusa looked up from his drink to find 3 pairs of eyes staring at him. Is there something on my face? Where the fuck does Atsumu find his men? Suna clasped a hand over his mouth, his face turning red in disbelief at what he had said. Osamu began to laugh and cough, hitting his chest to dislodge the rice that had gone down the wrong pipe. Atsumu sat with his hands over his face, his entire upper body 5 times hotter than before. Shit. That was not meant to come out my mouth. I'll just take it as a compliment. Osamu's coughing died down, though he still had to speak through his fit of laughter. My god Rin, yeah so embarrassing. Shut up. Atsumu, you alright there? Atsumu removed his hands from his still red face. I'm speechless. Osamu laughed harder while Suna huffed and shoved rice into his mouth. Please forget I ever said that Sakusa-san. Please don't ever forget, Sakusa-san. You don't have to be so formal. Can we call you Sakan too then? I don't mind that. I mind. That's my nickname for Sakan. Sharing is caring. Screw that. Okay then. Alright, Sakusa-kun then. There you go. Say, Miya. Both Osamu and Atsumu turned to look at Sakusa. Oh. I meant one-eyed blonde Miya. Wannabe. Osamu snorted while Suna began to snicker. Rude. Also, Sakan, you can't call us both Miya. I've realized. Sakusa turned to Osamu. Is it alright if I call you Osamu? Yeah, sure. Alright. Sakusa turned back to Atsumu, looking into his Honina eyes. And just Atsumu is alright. Atsumu was embarrassed at how flustered he got from Sakusa using his given name. Yeah. That's alright. Damn, that must have gone straight to his dick. Atsumu flushed and shot a glare at Suna. Osamu put a hand over his mouth, trying not to laugh. Wait, I've been saying this under the assumption that. Suna looked at Atsumu, not knowing how to phrase his words. Does he know about? Suna raised his arm, letting his wrist go limp before snapping his hand up again, repeating the motion a couple of times. That I'm a homo? Yeah. Phew. Glad I wasn't sharing some grand secret or something. Shoulder considered that earlier in. I know. I've been kicking you under the table every time you made a comment to make you stop. I thought you were trying to play footsies. Wait, how do you even know? Like I said, Osamu talks about you a whole lot. From what he says, you're a fruitcake. Can't deny. And from what Osamu tells me. Ditto. What is this, a coming out session? Guess so, fruitcake number 3. Sakusa-kun has gone awfully quiet. Then maybe he can't relate to the fruitiness. Suna and Osamu turned to Sakusa, who was staring at them with wide eyes. Atsumu opened his mouth to cover for Sakusa, but Sakusa gently placed a hand on his shoulder. It's fine. Sakusa cringed slightly as he finished his sentence. Gay. Osamu and Suna blinked in unison. Oh, thought so. Had me second guessing my gaydar there. Fruitcake number 4. Wait, Sakun. Sakusa-kun. Why'd you say that like it hurt? I'm just not used to saying it. That's the 3rd time I've said it out loud. I've only told my cousin, Atsumu, and, well, you too. I'm not really out. And most of the people around me are homophobic, so yeah. But I feel comfortable here knowing that all of you are, you know. Atsumu gave Sakusa a smile, Suna nodding in understanding while Osamu's face softened. That sucks. But it's nice that you're comfortable here. Yeah. Didn't mean to put a damper on the mood. No problem. You're good. Sakusa opened his mouth, then closed it again. What were you gonna say? It's fine. Sakun, spit it out. Nah, I don't want to ruin the mood more. Listen, we're not friends or anything. But as a fellow homo, if there's something you want to talk about it. Alright. I've just been struggling a lot. Especially because my parents are trying to get me married in the next 2 years or so. Some days I think, I wish I wasn't gay. And some days, I wake up and think, maybe I'm faking it because I'm not ready for marriage. And other days I wake up and think, without a doubt, I am a gay man. Then other days I wonder, what even am I? I can't accept myself when I can barely find myself. If that even makes any sense. Atsumu frowned at the frustration he saw in Sakusa's eyes. He squeezed Sakusa's shoulder, making Sakusa look at him. That makes perfect sense. It does. In high school I tried to cope with my sexuality struggles by being outright homophobic. Osamu looked at Atsumu guiltily. Which definitely made it harder for Atsumu, since he was going through his own sexuality struggles. He didn't come out to me because of it until I came out to him 2 years ago. But, between now and then, how did you figure yourself out? After graduating high school, I experimented a lot with men. Fancy talk for saying. He fucked around. Didn't plan on being that vulgar, but yeah. Oh. Yeah. I was kinda reckless with it too. It's a blessing I didn't get any STDs. Anyway, it helped me face the facts. I like guys, and girls are nice too. Simple as that. I don't think people really find themselves. More like they realize themselves. Why no? You can only hide from yourself for so long. I've never been in a serious relationship with a guy before though, and sometimes that still makes me insecure about my bisexuality. Especially since people have hit me with that. How do you know you like men if you've never been with a man? But I have a. Atsumu caught Osamu making eye contact with Suna, the both of them quickly looking away. He made a mental note to ask Osamu what was going on between them later. A particular friend and partner of sorts to ground me. My brother too. And other friends as well. Having a support system makes things hella easier. It does. Atsumu wrapped an arm around Sakusa's shoulders. We'll be part of your support system, okay? Any help you need, Sakun? Hell yeah, us homos gotta stick together. Sakusa looked around at Atsumu, Osamu and Suna. He sat quietly for a few seconds before flashing a smile. A rare, genuine, absolutely handsome smile. Atsumu's eyes widened, his cheeks going rosy at the beautiful sight. Thank you. All of you. All of the tension seeped out of the room, replaced with good-natured banter and light-hearted conversation. They soon finished eating and just sat around the table to continue talking. You're telling me Atsumu did what? Put a giant asshole in our living room wall. Atsumu, how did you manage to do that? Why, through my sheer strength of course. And he sounds proud of it. Course he is. Now this I'd like to hear an explanation for. Atsumu cleared his throat and folded his hands on the table. When Samu and I were about what, 10 or 11? Our parents bought us a football to play around with. I can already see where this is headed. Yeah, right into their living room wall. Ahem. Anyway, one day Samu challenged me to see who could hit the ball against the wall the hardest. And that same day, our mom came home to one football-sized hole in the wall. Yikes. On a scale from 1 to 10, how mad was she? Dunno. Yeah, Samu's scrawny ass ran for it the second she walked in. PFFT. Say what you want, I'm not the one who got beat. Atsumu shivered and clutched his chest. I faced her wrath alone. I'd just like to say though, that hole in my parents' wall is a symbol of my determination and victory. And the ass whooping you got. Bitch. Haha. PFFT. Anyway, our mama and old man left the hole in the wall for memory's sake. Or something like that. How sweet. I suppose. Guys, Christmas is coming up real soon. Damn, just gonna skip over Labor Thanksgiving this week completely? Yes. Duh. That's preferable. Sakusa sighed. I'm going on a hike with my cousin in the afternoon, which would have been nice since the weather is pleasant. But he's bringing a bunch of loud, rowdy college friends that I don't know. Sakusa turned to his right to address Atsumu. You were invited, but you weren't answering your texts. Ah. Atsumu rubbed the back of his neck and smiled apologetically. Sorry about that. It's fine, I'll manage. After the hike in the evening, I'm having dinner with my family. I'm not a fan of my parents but my older siblings and cousins will also be there, so it might actually be enjoyable. Or, that's nice. It is. Atsumu, aren't mom and pa supposed to come visit for Thanksgiving? Hey, they were. I sorta told them I'm loads behind schoolwork, so they want me to use the time I would spend with them studying. They still want you to come visit though. Well, guess that'll be my Thanksgiving. Everyone turned to Suna, whose hands were covering his face. Rin? Alright there? Nah, because fuck Thanksgiving. Suna dropped his hands on the table. It's making me homesick since I can't spend it with my family this year. He placed a hand under his chin and sighed. I'm so ready for Christmas. Suna suddenly perked up and smiled. Yo, my sister sent me the funniest TikTok the other day. Oh no, you told me about this. It was this guy saying something like. Suna snorted and began to laugh as he spoke. If he didn't get with someone this Christmas, ornaments wouldn't be the only thing hanging from the tree. Osamu shook his head with a small smile while Sakusa's jaw dropped slightly. Atsumu on the other hand, burst into laughter. Wait, why is that so funny? Right. Say Atsumu, got anyone you like? The feeling in the air instantly changed, and Atsumu began to giggle nervously. Why the sudden question? Just curious really. Atsumu glanced over at Sakusa, who was staring at him intensely. Atsumu quickly dropped his gaze, praying that Sakusa wouldn't interpret the look in the way Atsumu feared he would. What about you, Suna? Like anyone? Excuse you, I asked Atsumu first. And now I'm asking you. And if the answer was no, you would have just said that instead of trying to get smart with me. Suna slapped his hands on his cheeks as they went slightly pink. Just shut up. Osamu stopped drinking his Dr. Pepper and looked at Suna curiously. Meanwhile, Sakusa tapped Atsumu's foot with his under the table. Atsumu looked over at Sakusa, who mouthed a "you're welcome" before turning back to look at a fuming Suna. Atsumu internally wiped his brow in relief that Sakusa thought his look was a plea for help. But he was far from the safe zone. Say, Sakan. A newly recovered Suna placed both of his hands under his chin. He looked at Sakusa through bored eyes, though a hint of a smile was on his lips. Do you like anyone? Atsumu's eyes widened. Sakusa hummed, taking a moment before he spoke. I do. Atsumu looked at Osamu to see his eyes widening as Suna whistled. Damn. Honestly didn't expect that. Atsumu frowned, a fist of disappointment punching his gut. Though Sakusa having feelings for someone else should make things less complicated for Atsumu, right? I haven't known them for too long, I really just started developing feelings. They're actually the first person I've ever liked. Oh, first crush? How cute. Think they like you too? I don't know, maybe. Well, try to find out. By just asking. What? No. Be a little romantic, Sakan. Give him a gift to see his reaction. That wouldn't work, I already give him little gifts. Atsumu felt a jolt go through him, the voice at the back of his head repeating, screaming the same phrase. He gives you gifts, he gives you gifts, he gives you gifts. Okay then, lover boy. Ugh, don't call me that. Iniho, what about a cheesy pickup line then? You. Though, that might actually work. He has told me in the past that he likes pickup lines. Atsumu's heartbeat began to quicken. Hadn't he told Sakusa he liked pickup lines? All of his friends and family knew he liked pickup lines. Osamu must have thought it too, as he kicked Atsumu under the table. Atsumu kicked back twice as if to say, I know. Lots of people enjoy stupid little pickup lines, though. Maybe Sakusa met a guy other than Atsumu recently. Perhaps he's given the guy gifts and they've discussed their likes such as pickup lines. It could have all been a coincidence, really. What about taking him out to eat? I guess I could. I've never really considered it since he usually brings food with him to share when we hang out. He has a family member that's quite a good chef. There it was. The final blow. It was too much of a coincidence at this point. It was more likely that it wasn't a coincidence at all. Atsumu's heart felt like it would shoot out of his chest from how hard it was beating. His world started to spin, and he clutched the side of his chair in an attempt to ground himself. As Sakusa and Suna continued speaking, Atsumu looked at his brother, lips quivering, and Osamu gave him a nod. Osamu cleared his throat, making Sakusa and Suna stop talking and turned to him. Sorry, but we gotta wrap up this dinner. I've got a night shift I need to start getting ready for. Alright. Suna blinked at Osamu, and Atsumu assumed that he knew Osamu's words were a lie. Okay. I'll walk you two out. Atsumu, get started on the dishes will ya? No, I'll help with the dishes to say thank you. Atsumu can walk his buddy out. Oh, that's not necessary. Oh, but it is. ... Suna stood up from his seat and began taking the plates off of the table. Sakan, Atsumu, it was nice meeting you. Let's eat together again sometime. Atsumu forced himself to smile and nod. Yeah, let's do that. Sure. And, thank you for the meal Osamu. Oh, you're welcome. They all said their goodbyes and their thanks before the two pairs went their separate ways. So, Suna and Osamu were standing next to each other at the kitchen sink, Suna washing the dishes while Osamu dried them. So, why did you lie earlier about working tonight? Osamu sucked in a breath, searching his brain for an excuse to spit out. But one look into Suna's piercing eyes pulled the truth out of him. I needed a reason to end dinner. Obviously, but why? Because Atsumu was getting uncomfortable. Because Sakusa likes him? You picked that up, too? Yeah, from the things he said. Plus, he kept stealing glances at Atsumu the entire dinner. I didn't even notice. Yeah, because you were too busy shoveling rice down your throat like it was your last meal. You little. Wait, but why was Atsumu uncomfortable? I might have been reading the room wrong, but doesn't he like Sakusa? Osamu shut his mouth, not wanting to discuss more of what wasn't his business to share. Can we talk about something else? Sure, like the fact that you like someone. Suna stopped scrubbing at the plate he was holding. You know who? Huh? You know who it is? I don't know any of the people you know. You know one of them. It would only be that person. ... Are you saying it's? Don't make me say it, sweetheart. Rin. Osamu put down his drying rag and gripped Suna's shoulder, turning Suna to face him. What exactly are you trying to say? Suna opened his mouth and hesitated, deciding instead to push Osamu's hand off his shoulder. He spoke as he went back to washing dishes. Can we talk about this another day? Please? I've got to collect my thoughts and shit. Osamu sighed and slowly turned back around. Okay. Someday soon. Someday soon. After you. Thank you. Sakusa stepped through the front door, Atsumu following him and shutting the door. The rain had stopped, leaving behind puddles of water on the driveway and around the block. A faint rainbow arched across the dim sky. Sakusa held his umbrella in one hand while the other was stuffed in his pocket, Atsumu walking beside him. They soon reached Sakusa's car, staring at it for a couple of moments before turning to look at each other. So, enjoyed dinner? I did. Osamu and Suna are enjoyable company. Hey, what about me? You too, I guess. HMPH. Atsumu pouted. And they stole my nickname for you. You can always come up with a new one. Atsumu rubbed his chin for a few moments before his eyes lit up. Aha. Mori-kun calls you Kyo. I can take the other half of your name and call you Omi. I'm a genius. Yet this supposed genius of yours is riding off of someone else's idea. Hush Omi, being innovative is part of being a genius. Why am I annoyed by the new nickname? Omi Omi. Atsumu giggled as he poked Sakusa's side. He had expected Sakusa's signature sigh and eye roll, but instead, he received silence, a dropped gaze, and a frown. Omi? Something wrong? Sakusa looked back up at Atsumu, his eye serious. Atsumu. What do you think of me? Atsumu's heart dropped. He had calmed himself down enough to plaster a smile on his face. He had calmed himself down enough to push the notion of Sakusa liking him out of his mind, even just for the moment. He had calmed himself down enough to handle walking Sakusa to his car and heading right back inside. A discussion of feelings was not part of what he had calmed himself down enough to do. Other than to check up on you, that's why I wanted to come see you. To talk to you about this. Because, Sakusa closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Omi. Reopening his eyes now, Sakusa spoke. I like you. The words fell out of Sakusa's mouth, tumbling into Atsumu's world and shattering it. Atsumu's breathing began to get shaky, his legs starting to feel like jelly, heart on the verge of explosion. I like you, and I wasn't exactly trying to hide it when I was talking to Suna just now. Komori said you most likely feel the same way, but I wasn't too sure. Hell, I wasn't even completely sure if you were straight or not until today. There's 1,000 things that tell me you like me, and there's 1,000 things that tell me you don't. Sakusa took a step closer to Atsumu. I'm not asking for a date, nothing like that. Atsumu was shaking now, even panting a little. Sakusa placed a hand on Atsumu's shoulder and leaned closer, looking straight into his eyes. I'm only asking for one thing, Atsumu. Honesty. So I know where we stand. So we can go from here. Sakusa's face began to blur in Atsumu's vision. He must have been tearing up now. Atsumu blinked his eyes to see Sakusa clearly, to see the sincerity and care in his face. So, Atsumu. What am I to you? Atsumu's soft, hazel brown eyes stared deep into Sakusa's bottomless dark irises. Atsumu began to fall into them, deeper and deeper, unable to climb or claw his way out. Tears spilled out of Atsumu's eyes, rolling down his cheeks and joining the water on the driveway. He wanted to dig himself into a hole and never climb out, never have to face this situation. But he had made a promise to himself that he wouldn't run away. When he spoke, his voice was soft and sad, yet firm. You're more than a friend to me. Yeah, I like you. I like you. I like you a lot. But Atsumu held back a sob. I just can't. You can't what exactly? Like me? Talk to me. ... Be with me. All of the above. I don't know what I want right now. I don't know what's good for me right now. I don't. You don't owe me an explanation. Sakusa let go of Atsumu's shoulder and stood up straight. You can talk to me whenever you're ready. I'll be here. Sakusa pulled his car keys from his pocket and unlocked his car doors. I'll be going now. Take care of yourself, Atsumu. Atsumu only nodded, his arms wrapped around himself while tears and snot streamed down his face. After Sakusa got into his car and drove off, Atsumu looked up at the sky. He wasn't sure if it was just his perception, but the sky seemed a lot darker than it had before. Thursday, 5:39 p.m. Private messages with sweetheart. Hey Osamu. Can I come over later? Sweetheart has come online. There's this new horror movie on Netflix I wanna watch with you. We can. Netflix and chill, you know. In the literal sense though. PFFT. Yeah sure. I think that's exactly what I need right now. Yay, smiley sooner. So, how's your brother? 𝘧𝘦𝘦𝘭𝘪𝘯𝘭𝘺. Damn. You know it's bad when it's a lowercase keyboard smash. Yeah. So Sakusa properly confessed after dinner that night. Oh shit. Suna here for the show. And so did my brother. But let's just say his past relationship was really fucking terrible. It seriously fucked him up. And now it's even hard for him to have a crush on someone. He won't talk to me, our mom, his therapist, no one. And he's not going to classes either, God knows how far behind he is. He's been sleeping, eating, shitting, repeat. I don't know what to do. Shit, that's a lot. Yeah, sorry. No problem. I know that when I was struggling with my eating disorder a couple of years back, the best thing that helped me was talking to people that went through the same thing. It'd be good for Atsumu to talk to someone he can relate to. Maybe then he'll get the help he really needs. I don't know why I didn't think of that. You're a genius. I know. Bye. Now I need to find someone Atsumu can talk to. Wait. Bro. Question mark. How did I not think to call him to help with Atsumu before? Seeing your active stream of consciousness is so amusing. I've got to make a call. Thanks for your help, Rin. Haha sure. I'll see you in about an hour. Yee. Alright, laters. Goodbye. Rin has gone offline. Sweetheart has gone offline. Atsumu was sitting on his bed, reading the same manga for about the 5th time. His hair was a mess, his eyes had dark circles, and he had a bit of stubble on his face. Water bottles, soda cans, chip bags, candy wrappers, and dirty clothes were strewn about the room floor. His world was, in a word, a mess. As Atsumu was about to turn the page, his phone began to ring on his bedside table. Atsumu set down the manga and sighed, reaching for his phone. Just as he was going to silence it, he saw the name of the caller. His eyes widened, and he answered the call quickly, bringing the phone to his ear. Hello? Atsumu? Atsumu instantly smiled at the sound of his old friend's voice. Eren-kun, it's been a while. Yeah, too long I'd say. How are ya? And how's Kita-san? We're both doing well thanks. We actually adopted a kitten 2 weeks ago. Oh, really? Yeah. Her name's Shizuka, just a 2-month-old white Persian. Or, you gotta send me pictures. Haha, I will. I really called to ask about how you're doing though. ... I think you remember me telling you about how I was in an abusive relationship a few years ago. Yeah, I could never forget that. I'm sorry you had to go through something similar, Atsumu. Seriously sorry. Wish I could have been there to support you through it. It is what it is. Besides, that was in the past. You're exactly right, that was in the past. But it affects you now. ... I want to help you Atsumu. But, let me. ... Okay. Good. Osamu gave me a rundown of your current situation, but I still wanna hear it from you. Alright. God, where do I even start? From the beginning. And Atsumu told him everything. He told Eren how he met his ex, how perfect and amazing they seemed at the start, and how everything began to spiral and go south. He told Eren how his brother got him out of that relationship and how his ex got acquitted when Atsumu and Osamu took them to court. He told Eren how months later, he received news that they were getting married to the same person they'd cheated on Atsumu with countless times. Then he told Eren about Sakusa. He told him about their morning meetings, Sakusa's kindness and understanding, and the gifts, the food, and the conversations they shared. He told Eren about the day he ran into Sakusa and Komori at the convenience store, the night at the bowling alley, the dinner, and everything in between. Omi's seriously one of the most genuine people I've met. And that's saying a lot, considering I know Kita-san. I know that he cares about me. And I like him, I really do. But, I feel like everything's going too fast and I can't keep up. Like I'm going at a speed that I can't even handle, and I'm going to crash and burn because of it. I'm terrified to get hurt again. I'm terrified to trust again. I want to trust Omi, but I'm afraid of what could happen if I do. I'm sure my feelings for him are real, and part of me wants to throw all caution to the wind. But at the same time, I'm wanting something you're not ready for? Yeah, exactly that. I know what you mean. I was in an abusive relationship with a girl, so during and even after the breakup, I felt like I had betrayed myself in that I wasn't, being a man. I had fragile masculinity for a long while because of it. The relationships I pursued right after that relationship were because I wanted to love and be loved, but also cause I wanted to restore my masculinity. Obviously that didn't work. I was too broken after that relationship, and I wasn't as ready as I made myself believe I was. Kita made me realize that. He was the one that supported me through that damn horrible relationship, and all of my sad little quick fix ones. He was the one that loved me through it all, my highs and my lows. He told me about his feelings about a year after that girl and I ended things, but we didn't start dating until a year later. 2 years? 2 years before I was willing to properly learn how to love again. It takes a while to heal Atsumu. Do yourself a favor and give yourself that time. Maybe in the future you two can be together. But, ask yourself, are you ready for that now? No. Every time I think of love, I think of them. That shitty, false sense of love they gave. And Omi's already shown me love much better than that, even in a platonic sense. And maybe that's enough. He said he'll be there. Romance can wait. Yup, it'll always be there for you once you're ready for it. You'll get through this, Atsumu. I know you will. Thanks, Eren-kun. Seriously. I needed this. I feel like the weight of the world has been lifted off my shoulders. Hey, you're welcome. Can I come over? I suddenly really miss you and Kita-san, and I wanna meet Shizuka. Sure, lem just tell Kita-shin. Actually, can I upgrade my visit to a sleepover? ... Why'd you ask like that? We're not in grade school, Atsumu. I'm gonna take that as a yes and start packing a bag. Haha, alright, see you soon. See you, Eren-kun. I'm so glad it's over. Yeah, that sucked. As I told you it would. It was past midnight, and Osamu and Suna were currently cuddling on the Miya twins' living room couch. In front of them, the end credits of the horror movie they had been watching played on the television. Guess I lost the bet. You did. Now hand over that money. Suna pulled his wallet out of his back pocket, fishing out a 1,000 yen bill and handing it to Osamu. Thank you, my good sir. Zip it. Or, we got a sore loser on our hands. Oh, shut up. Osamu laughed and wrapped his arms tighter around Suna. The two of them lay there in silence for a few minutes before Osamu spoke up. Hey, Rin. I know. Let's talk about it. Osamu sat upright, bringing Suna up with him. He pushed Suna off of his lap, earning a grunt and a playful slap from Suna. You're such an ass. Yeah. Osamu stood up to turn on the living room lights before settling back down next to Suna. So, about last week. I'm assuming you were talking about me. Which would explain a lot. Like, a lot. But, not everything. Rin. Osamu grabbed Suna's hand, rubbing the back of it gently with his thumb. I don't wanna jump to too many conclusions. What are we? Suna sighed. Shit, I don't know. We're in between dating and just fucking, all in the realm of who knows. But, we can have something more definite. Something closer to dating, if you'd like. You're really open to having an actual, like, serious romantic relationship? With you? Yeah. Is that so surprising? Well, yeah, 'cause we just agreed that. We did, but things change. You told me that you view me differently than you did at the start, and that goes for me as well. I thought I was making it obvious how I felt, especially when I asked if you wanted to hang out last Saturday. I was actually planning to tell you straight up at the playground, but I got nervous and I thought the rain was a bad omen. Rin. Osamu pulled Suna forward and enveloped him in a hug. Honest to God, I could not tell you felt the same way. Suna sighed in relief and returned the hug. Because you're a dumbass. Hey. I thought it was just all part of our arrangement. It was hella confusing. Hey, my bad. Osamu pushed Suna back slightly and gazed into his eyes. Can I? Osamu felt his face heat up. Can I kiss you? Suna stared back at Osamu for a few seconds and began to laugh. Oh my gosh. Don't laugh. Your entire face is red. And the way you asked. You're acting like we're 13 and haven't kissed and done other shit before. Shut up or answer the question. Yes, you can kiss me. Still giggling, Suna cupped the right side of Osamu's face and closed the distance between them. Suna's lips were slightly chapped, but they were tender and warm all the same. Osamu's lips fit perfectly with his, and he melted into the kiss. It was different from all of their other kisses. There was no hidden or explicit lust, clashing teeth, desperate tongues, or the feeling of want. This kiss was simple and sweet. It had no haste, paced as though they had all the time in the world. It wasn't a kiss that said I need you. Rather, it said I'm for you. When the two slowly pulled away, both of them had red cheeks and overflowing hearts. That was, nice. Yeah, Suna buried his head into Osamu's shoulder. We're acting like virgins. PFFT. Wait. Osamu smirked and nudged Suna's face, making Suna look up at him. You still haven't confessed. I'm not saying it. You confess. No you. How are we going to share the cutest kiss that ever was but neither of us properly confess? Well, we've been doing shit backwards since day one. True. So, what's the next step in our not-so-chronological sequence? Well, Suna sat up and cleared his throat dramatically, shining a smile that made Osamu's heart melt. Say, sweetheart. Would you go out with me? It was a crisp Saturday morning when Atsumu made his way up the stout hill for the first time in 2 weeks. He stepped over twigs and swatted at insects as he navigated through the shrubbery. It was a bit dense and unruly, but it was also familiar. It was like a second home. When Atsumu reached the top of the hill, he was greeted with a sight he'd never get tired of. The clearing was beautiful as ever, the grass that blanketed the ground a healthy green, the surrounding trees hiding the area from everyone else. The morning sky was a soft gray, sun rays peeking through the floating wall of clouds. Sitting on the grass was Sakusa, his thick black curls falling about his perfectly carved face, his cool eyes glistening under the sunlight. The bottom half of his face was hidden because of his mask, though his slightly furrowed eyebrows signaled that he was in deep thought. Boy did I miss it here. Sakusa quickly turned his head to meet Atsumu's gaze. Atsumu. Heya, Omi. Atsumu shoved his hands into his coat pockets and walked towards Sakusa, taking a seat down next to him. The weather is really nice this time of year. Yeah, it is. They both turned around and stared up at the sky. Omi-kun. This clearing up here, it isn't exactly a place you just stumble upon. That it isn't. So, how'd you even find this place? When I was taking biology, I needed pictures and samples from a place with a good amount of bushes, insects, and the like for a project. One of my classmates told me this would be a good place to go to. It was really just luck that I walked up far enough and found this place. So practical. Like I'd expect from my 𝘰𝘮𝘦𝘭𝘪𝘯𝘴. What about you? How'd you find this place? Atsumu laughed sadly, still not looking at sakusa. I was at the lowest point in my relationship. So bad it had me drinking to forget about the bad times. One night, Samu came into my room and saw that I drank an entire bottle of rum by myself. It wasn't all in one sitting, but the point was that I was drinking too damn much in general. Even then I was tipsy. Iniho, we fought over my drinking because he was worried about me, and I didn't want to hear it, so I ran out of the house. I always passed this hill when I went on my regular morning jogs, so my legs dragged me along my regular jogging trail and then took me on a detour up the hill. And eventually, my legs brought me up here. I'm glad it was that night I found this clearing too. Full moon, clear sky, just the right amount of insects chirping. It was a damn beautiful night. Atsumu now turned to Sakusa, finding that Sakusa was already looking at him. That relationship brought me a lot of pain, 𝘰𝘮𝘦. Too much pain. But it also brought me to this clearing, and so it brought me to you. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you, 𝘰𝘮𝘦. And that's why I want us to keep what we have now. It wouldn't be right to burden you with all my troubles. I should be able to rely on you, but I have to be able to rely on myself too. Why no? Besides that, I'm still too broken and too scared to even be thinking of romance. I just want to push all romance to the side right now and focus on healing. Learn how to love me and those around me. Sakusa nodded thoughtfully. I thought that much. You got out of a horrible relationship a few months ago, and you need time. That's perfectly understandable. So, we're cool? This doesn't change things? This doesn't. But, what exactly does this mean for the future? For us? It means we'll take our time. Wait until we're both ready, if we're ever both ready. In any case, I want to continue getting to know you as a friend, 𝘰𝘮𝘮𝘏. And getting to know who I am again. Me too, Atsumu, me too. So, friends? Sakusa snorted. Better than friends at this point. A faint smile played on Atsumu's lips. Yeah, guess so. You're sure you wanna stick around? I've got a lot of baggage. I'll help you carry it. Atsumu rested his head on Sakusa's shoulder, the added warmth shielding him against the cool morning air. Thanks. Need anything from me? Well, can you be there to answer my midnight calls when I'm having my weekly sexuality crisis? Hell yeah, gayness works around the clock. Sakusa chuckled. Of course, of course. Atsumu didn't know what would become of his feelings for Sakusa in the future. Perhaps it would lead to a romantic relationship, or they would slip away and be replaced by platonic feelings. Either way, he was certain of one thing. Sakusa would be there to stay. With his head on Sakusa's shoulder, Atsumu thought of everything that had happened in the past month of his life. He thought of all the laughs he'd shared, the fun and good food, but most importantly, the people. He thought of all the people who had shown him love in the past month. Love that his ex hadn't given him, and love that he hadn't been giving himself. He'd take all the time that he needed to heal, to feel like him again. He'd take all the time in the world to learn how to love.